really surprised to find out that Skeletor, he's a wonderful human being. I mean, he's fantastic. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, he's complex, he's polite, oddly enough. I mean, he offered me a drink I think would have killed me if I so I turned it down. It was some kind of witch's brew of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, his reasons for trying to kill He-Man are pretty complex.
So you're anti He-Man?
I'm not anti-He-Man. I'm not taking a stance one way or the other, but I am saying that his arguments against He-Man have been strawmanned.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you know, hey, how you doing? Come on in. We're going to be baking spanakopita, and until it's ready, come sit with us by the light, the movie light. Okay, welcome. I am Dr. Crisis, along with.
Mr. Dust?
And I am Melmud.
So, how you guys doing? How things go while I was gone?
They went well, Doctor.
Good.
And
Good.
just, I'm so doggone happy that you're here. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those little synthetic micro beings that played music.
Yeah.
They weren't music. They were shapes, but you understood they were music.
Wow.
Yes, I got to shake out the cobwebs of the crossroads. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's fine.
Did you heard about that phenomenon, the crossroads cobwebs that people have?
No.
I had heard about it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how much of it was just like hearsay because not a lot of people go there, so I didn't know if it was true.
All right. Elmer Thrender says I, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Did he mention us by name?
Yeah, the dumb one and the big one.
Okay.
We'll decide
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
later.
All right, so we all love movies for their heroes and their villains, and the protagonist, the antagonist, but we also love movies because of all the side characters. And today we'll be talking about the side characters. We'll be talking about our favorite ones. I mean, and we'll also be talking about the side characters that had the biggest effect on the movie.
Okay.
So,
Splendid.
yes. And of course, if you have, please comment and tell us side characters that we missed. Always.
Yes.
And if you do so, you will get a sack of golden beans.
No, that's only if they answer. Don't you dare give that away.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
only if
just
they
wanted
answer
to.
the correct questions.
Well, it is, because we just have so damn many golden beans. We can give them out at the word go. Type a T in the comments and you get golden beans.
All right, so the first one that comes to mind, because I recently watched it, and that's why it's the first one that comes to mind. I have what they call monkey mind. This goes under the category of side characters or small characters that affected the movie in a great way. Willow is what comes to mind.
Okay.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw it?
Oh, God, I was in high school. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. How about you?
Me, it's been a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we remember the character in the beginning. What was she, the
I would say the
nursemaid?
nursemaid is what
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
or,
think-
midwife or whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
yeah. She only says one thing in the entire movie, one line. I think she says, and you don't even see her on screen. She just says, "I can't." I believe it says she says, "I can't," because the mother's offering the baby. If you know, in Willow, of course, Laura Dannon is going on to beat Beth Morda and
Bev.
Oh, I apologize.
That's fine. There's a V in it.
Okay, I failed. Can we move on?
I'm a disciple.
What is
damn, Laura Dannon.
Yeah, so she's gonna, bring goodness to the kingdom and all that. So the handmaiden in the very beginning is given Elora Danan by Elora Danan's mother so she can save her.
Right.
Right. Or what would you call her? The Dakini baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this character is the only thing she says in the entire movie, and she's only in the opening credits. That's the only time you see her leaving the castle, going out into the wilderness with the baby, and showing she's already falling in love with this baby. And of course, she risked her life, which then she loses her life, pushing the baby into the river. And I love the way the woman performed it. I always love characters that the unsung martyrs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Characters that no one knew she did this. That she was never mentioned again. No one said that she was the savior. I just then you're always immediately right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're down with this character.
Absolutely amazing.
Right. So can you think of other incidences like that in movies?
It's that important to the story.
No, I mean characters that were unsung
Ah.
martyrs or heroes in the movie.
Okay. Well, one that comes to mind is Cliffhanger, where the Secret Service agent in the beginning, who
Ooh,
they thought got
yes.
killed and everything. I mean, if he didn't wake up after being shot or whatever, and then open fire at the plane trying to get away with the money, then the whole thing never would have happened. They wouldn't have met Sly. He couldn't have beat him with his rock climbing skills, and it never would have happened. But no one talks about him and how he tried to stop them, and his efforts, eventually rewarded by the fact that he shot at them, got the money dropping, and
Perfect
and he
example.
died doing it.
That's a perfect example. Yep.
Guy did it. He was already shot.
Yeah.
And they were flying away. No, I'm not. And it wasn't even about the money anymore. It's like, I'm not letting these sons of bitches get away with shit. And he stood up all bleeding, and then he got killed by an explosion. Remember that?
Yes.
He's going
Yeah.
right to Valhalla. I think that
Yeah.
guy. You know what I mean?
That's a great
Yeah,
example. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't even remember that agent's name if they ever said it.
Yeah. So that's a great example.
Yeah, that guy was intense.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, the performers, right?
Mm.
I love the way that guy performed it. Immediately when he knew something was wrong and he pulled his gun and you're
Yes.
like, I believe in that guy's righteousness.
Right.
I believe that he will go to the ends of the earth for what is right.
Yeah.
So she was the same thing. And then as soon as she heard the wolves on the horizon, do you know that was actually dogs that they had dressed up in Willow?
I had heard that. Yes.
Really?
That it just
They'd put, basically puppetry on real dogs to make them look that amazing running around. It was, and it had that effect. You're like, when you watch it, especially as a child, you're like, I don't understand how they're doing that.
Right.
Did they raise these beasts? George Lucas at that point had such a reputation for being able to do impossible things. Say, well, I guess he just got that from Han Solo or whatever. So and then she puts Elora Danan in a basket, pushes her into the river, and dies trying to fight these. She goes right for a stick, and that's it. She's trying to take these things out. One last act. Chills. I get chills every time I watch that sequence.
and it's all about her. It's all about Elora escaping, not her.
Exactly.
She's not fighting
Perfect.
for her life. Yeah.
Exactly what we're talking about with small characters.
Yeah.
Side characters, and yes.
It's beautiful.
That it wasn't about her, but it was it about her?
Yeah.
Right. Not only the way that woman and not only was she performed it in the way that the music was so gorgeous in that movie, and it was the tone, the way it changed. When I love movies that can use music to change tone so
Yes.
immediately, right? I know that's what you're supposed to do with it, but a lot of let's be honest, a lot of filmmakers and a lot of score writers don't do that very well. Or they're not used. Like, perfect example for that. Here's what we call a side track. Is that what that is?
We're talking about side characters. We might as well talk about side tracks.
Okay.
What about side bitches?
No.
Well,
That's another show.
That's another. We do that on the sly.
Yeah,
that's
man.
only put out on certain channels. But Collateral, not Collateral. What's the movie I'm thinking of, buddy?
Yes.
The Last Samurai.
Ah.
They both have Tom Cruise in it. Hey, Tom, I'll be there tomorrow. There's a scene in a good movie, not a great movie, in my opinion.
Oh, Last Samurai.
Last Samurai.
Okay.
And one of the reasons it's not a great movie is the score does not stand out to me.
And it's funny when you mentioned this to me the other day. He's like, "Do you remember the score?" And I said, "No." And you're like, "Exactly."
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene where he really becomes a samurai and pulls his sword and kills those guys in the town square for the first time. The fact that they had no memorable theme to blare there at that moment is a huge flaw in the execution of the film, in my opinion. But that's that. I know that's another episode of. But the idea that we talked about several times before, that when you hear the Matrix, Matrix, perfect example. You hear those horns, and you're now in the Matrix.
Yep.
You're in this world.
Yes.
And all the emotions they wanted to conjure, succeed. They succeed at that, right?
Yeah.
They're there now.
No, I fully agree. I just wanted to know, Frank, do you agree with that?
Pardon?
Frank, I wanted to know, not you, Malmo. I wanted to know if Frank agreed with it. He seems to agree with that. Yeah.
All right, buddy. You're looking good. That's a good shade of green you got.
He's always a character.
Oh,
that guy.
yeah,
He's
he is.
amazing. Wow.
So anyway, that's one of my favorites of all time. That's what I kick it off with. Not only because she's one of my favorite side characters, performers, but also it checks all the boxes. She
Right.
also affects the story. There is no story without her. She dies or she chooses not to take that child. All of that world goes to hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's one of my
That's
favorites.
a great start off Dark Crisis. Yeah.
What else we got?
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, she's the queen.
Yeah. For me, one of the more amazing ones was Unbreakable. The doctor in the beginning.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
As far as a performance.
As far as performance.
Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't trying to make more of his role. He wasn't not interested. He wasn't
So the doctor at her birth, is that right? Yeah.
at his birth.
Yeah, at his birth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At his
Yeah.
birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That sequence was
Is
Yeah.
insane.
too much.
The
Yeah.
tension and you felt sick to your stomach as that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. The fact that he knew exactly what they were asking him to do, and he did it. He somehow did it. Like you said, the tension in the scene. If I remember correctly, they got across the just the poverty of it all as well, right? Like,
And she's in a department store.
Yeah.
yeah, and it just made me feel like they were on hard times.
And the fact of, I mean, to interrupt
No,
you,
not at
but
all.
the fact that Shyamalan knew not to make the people who worked in the store ignorant.
Yeah,
The
Right.
situation itself was bad enough, and they were all like when, did anything go wrong? Remember the doctor asked? No, it was a nice smooth birth. Did you drop him?
Yes.
What? Did you drop this baby?
yeah,
And I also love that he was trying to toe the line. He didn't want to accuse her of this.
Yes.
He didn't want to accuse anyone of this. But
Such an
he was
amazing
having an
performance.
emotional reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a professional, that's what's so chilling about it. And like you said, he was asked to do this and he did it perfectly. That man did restrained horror,
Yes.
right? Because he's a professional who's not supposed to be this upset because he's seen everything, you know. And which makes you, oh God, the professional's upset? Oh
Yeah.
Jesus, you know.
Having him say, "Tell the ambulance we have a situation," which
Yeah.
of course made the mother scared.
yeah.
And then what you just said, I've never seen this. He even paused, like, "What happened?"
Good call. That guy was amazing.
Really ridiculous. And the way I'm sorry, we took over. You said it, and we talked.
Who?
So who are you? The last thing he said was, of course, both of his arms and legs are broken, but the way he stole himself, got himself steely to remember he was looking.
But the mother, she's not small enough. I forgot
Yeah.
that same woman was throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It was the same woman, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She was insane. Yeah. She was incredible.
Incredible. But the way he looked down, dropped his face, became both his arms and legs are broken. He tried to be,
Yeah.
doctor
Tried
to
right.
professional.
But there's no way
good
to
call.
tell her this without,
Yes,
That's a great one.
great.
Thank you.
Malmwood.
But he doesn't go in the line, just to be clear. So we're very precise all the time,
Yes.
forever in life. Excuse me, I have to shine my shoes. That doesn't fall in the category of someone that had affected the story.
That's,
Right.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
category of just favorite and great acting.
I guess if you, unless you do a lot of speculation, I mean, like he could have picked up the child and thrown him out the window. And then, we don't want to go that.
Well, I
you could have
guess-
euthanized the child. Like
Maybe to
You
the
know-
audience he was important. Like he is the announcement of this.
very good. You're talking about storytelling,
Right.
Ah,
He's the
how it
announcement
affects
of
those
this.
watching it.
Yeah.
curiouser
Very
and
good.
curiouser.
Stop it, Alice. Just stop it. We didn't
I
ask
belong
you to
somewhere.
get back in the corner, damn it.
I won't be kept here forever.
Yeah, prove it. Anyway, so that's wonderful. Yeah,
No, thank you.
yeah. So you open up the whole of the concept there and how important they are to how the story is told. But then you would say if you're writing a good film or making, directing a good film, every character needs to be important, else they shouldn't be in the damn movie.
Right.
So, okay. What else we got, buddy? What do you got?
I got one that category-wise is a little blurry.
What is that?
But I think his name was, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think his name was Dr. Strom
Okay.
in Spider-Man.
Which one?
That was the guy that helped Norman
Oh,
become...
That's right.
He was in it a little bit longer than the people we just named.
Okay.
But a side character. He helped Norman become the Green Goblin. I thought he performed the whole thing well when he was the nervousness. He didn't come off too much like a silly geek, like I don't know, 2 weeks and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But he was there. He needed help in injecting and pressing a button to have the gas come in and everything, and that guy helped him. So he helped Spider-Man's main villain get created, and then got promptly murdered by him. So again,
And he was amazing there when he thought that
he had a
Norman had
cardiac
died.
arrest, yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Norman?
When he first
And he was
looked,
trying to push on his chest, trying to do Norman. He's getting all upset, and that guy performed really well. And again,
yeah.
as far as pushing the story, it's like, hey, Strom helped Green Goblin come into being. So
And I think that's what makes a great movie. Like, I don't think it's possible to have bad performers in your movie and have it be great. That is, you have to check that list off. That off the list. You have to check that off. You can't have this because you can ruin. Bad performance is way more than good performances.
well said.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I like that.
So you will remember how bad that person was in that scene. So this is why it's so important to have your side, your extras even. But what do they call them? Minor players, I think.
I guess so.
I
Is that on stage or is that in movies too?
I guess I don't know.
Okay. That's
this
definitely
this
a
is
thing,
1692, right?
We're going to talk later, but just keep talking into the magic device.
Oh, that's not where I've come back to.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. So we're all good. You have your mind with you?
I'll find it eventually.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Okay.
As long as we'll get there.
Yeah. I think I left it in my other pants.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Just make sure you check them before you put them on, buddy.
I got to check them before I put them in the dryer. That would be a problem.
Oh my God.
Okay. That does need some washing, I think, though.
This.
Hey,
no,
yeah.
I don't think that way. I don't know if it's that way.
Okay. So what else we got? Sanford Babbitt.
Sanford Babbitt.
Exactly.
Sanford Babbitt.
exactly.
Okay.
Sanford Babbitt.
Yeah.
He's never in the movie. He's not in the movie, but of course his decisions and his relationship with Charlie in Rain Man, his relationship with Charlie, if you haven't seen the movie, of course I recommend you go see it, but it is his relationship
Yeah.
with... It is his relationship...
Definitely gotta see Rain Man.
Ray?
Yeah.
Can I do this, Ray? Can I do this episode, Ray?
Doctor Crisis.
That was supposed to be me, though.
What was supposed to be
you? You were Charlie last time.
I don't know what you're talking about. They were in here.
All right.
Illusion kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, your brain is fried.
Yeah, that's one of the more.
Fried. Is that what you'd heard? Okay, if you know what that's from, then you get some golden beans.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
There
Yeah.
you go.
What were you going to say, buddy?
That's one of the more chilling ones.
Sanford
Babbitt. Yeah.
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 It is his relationship with Charlie that made him who he was, that created the situation that we're watching. His relationship then with Raymond has directly to do with his relationship with his father and his father's choices. His father's choice to leave the money to Raymond instead of to Charlie.
Yeah.
There's no movie without that choice. He doesn't go there to figure out why he didn't get the money.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like a ghost over the entire film the entire time.
Yes.
The choices he made to make sure that Charlie didn't know he had a brother. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Just a picture of him in it, remember?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I want to do a little bit of attack on there because Eleanor Babbitt, it always seemed like if she hadn't died, if they had been a unit, then maybe they wouldn't have been split up. That her being alive was enough for him
Ooh.
and her and Sanford to take care of the children.
So even deeper.
Yeah, just get the Babbitts go all the way back. You know what I mean? Holy shit.
This is the story of the Babbitts. This is the
thought,
Bible of the Babbitts. That's what we're talking about. The Book of Babbitt.
The Book of Babbitt.
This
What,
is the-
didn't we have something else named after the Babbitts?
Sure.
I'm sure we
I
did.
hope we did.
Yeah.
It was about music. It was like the.
We'll have to. Yeah.
You tell if you can tell us what episode and what we said. Golden beans aplenty.
All right. So that's another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one I like didn't even have any words spoken in the film.
Okay.
Castaway. If anybody out there has seen it or like it or know it or feel it, when Tom Hanks walks to the cockpit
In the plane that's about to crash.
and the plane is about to crash, he walks to the cockpit, because he was woken up by some turbulence, and he walks to the cockpit and says, "Hey, was the all this turbulence from Santa and his little reindeer, and there was a somebody up there, a co-pilot or a janitor or something, He just shook his head and motioned to be quiet to him. Again, the guy didn't overdo it. He didn't look like he also was interested.
Oh,
in what he had to
I
do.
hate
Yeah.
it when hate it when extras or side characters, small character actors try and make their career off of this one motion.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do a Shakespearean, performance when all I've got to say is here is your beer.
Yeah.
like,
It leads. It comes from the backstory I've given myself in my head about my relationship with my mother
Yeah.
and the mailman.
Yeah.
That all that.
No, exactly.
And this comes from a person who has known many actors who acted himself. That's bad. That's frowned upon. It should be. So yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he didn't overdo it, and he just did what he was supposed to do, and he wasn't like, all right, this is such a small role, I'm not going to care about it, and it's good. You wouldn't have cared if he was bad anyway. He was so small.
I would have.
No,
You would care.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't like fuck everything.
Yeah.
It could. In a scene like that, it very well could.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he could. Oh yeah. If
he
he
was-
was bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If he overacted the sequence, you're not taking out of the way they're crafting the tension in that scene is gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I feel that sometimes directors fail in not being more directly involved in casting of every possible role. I mean, I know they have casting directors, but and maybe a lot of them do. But you feel, Mr. Dust, you feel that Zemeckis goes out of his way to hire over actors.
It seems like he goes out of his way to do that and to make them just go, can you please overdo this to the very max?
Okay, I mean, I need you to answer this as honestly as possible.
Yes.
Do you feel that Robert Zemeckis ruined Tom Wilson's career?
I have to say yes on that.
Okay.
Because other people, of course, if you know the history of Back to the Future trilogy, people would say that he was instrumental in ruining the career of Chris McGlover. But other people say that's complicated. Chris McGlover was involved in that. But Tom Wilson, and we talked about this before. You actually asked me this before, and I was like, holy shit, I think he had to, because Tom Wilson played Biff. He played every iteration of Biff's family. For those who don't know, in the second one, when he's talking to his grandmother as he's leaving the house, Tom Wilson did the voice of his grandmother.
Are you sure about that?
100%
That's
sure.
actual fact.
That's fact.
Okay.
He did every Tannen that could have been.
And he was amazing as Mad Dog. If you
Oh, my
tweak that
God.
performance slightly,
Absolutely.
he's
scary.
truly a scary gunfighter. But
Yes.
Go ahead.
But Zemeckis had him playing it so far over the top at all times in those, especially the second and third. I don't think they're as good as the first. I don't think anyone has any, sense does.
Hey, I like the second one better.
Yeah, I know. I said that anyone that has any sense does.
Wait, I covered that.
I already explained you. So I would have to say yes, that Tom Wilson, and again, people say typecast, yeah, but I think he helped him get typecast. It's like, can you do everything to the hilt, over the moon, every take? It's like, so it's like, oh yeah, I don't want Biff screaming butthead at me because he got worse. And again, though, I just have to give the shout out to Tom Wilson, Buford Tannen, the bad guy.
They called him Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Mad
Now, nobody
Dog.
calls me Mad Dog.
He was
was
truly
amazing.
wonderful in that. Yeah.
Bring back the horse.
I done shot that horse.
Exactly what I was going to say. The way he performed that. Bring the horse back in. I'll reshoot. I done shot that horse.
And he was at times terrifying in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story that well, that's the odd part about it. Like we're talking about casting, and you bring up that. And it's also weird that his name was Tom Wilson. That we went from Castaway, casting, Wilson, what's going on here? What's
Holy
going on
shit.
here? Oh no, see the universe.
We might have
it's
cracked
all
the
about.
case.
It's all about. It's
Yeah.
all connected, and I got to get back there. And
Holistic.
Figure out how. I got to figure out how.
This is the way the world works, and look at this fucking shit we're in, man.
If you know what that is from, Golden Beans.
right. We were talking about something. I remember that.
I think it
I
was
fucking know.
Skeletor's nighttime routine before he goes to sleep. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Casting.
Yeah, just all of that.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, it's like, yeah. I think the casting thing is what we were talking about.
think the casting.
If you could tell us what we were talking about, golden mushrooms. Okay. Now I want to. Are you done with that? The topic
Oh,
we were
yeah.
on? Yeah. The pilot or the janitor, as he may have been.
Oh no, wait. What I was talking about is it's now famous that Eric Stoltz they filmed
yes.
what 75% of the
Way
movie.
more than I thought when I originally heard this.
I've
Yes.
seen scenes. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Look yeah.
Yeah.
So it's odd we're talking about his recasting there.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz, for those who don't know, filmed most of Back to the Future in the Marty part. If you know Eric Stoltz, you'll go
I
look
think
it up or
it's
whatever.
so well known though now. But-
Yeah, I think it would be now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but for any jerk that doesn't know,
Why they got to be a jerk if they don't know?
because they're just losing out on something. You're not a jerk as you're bad to your parents. You're a jerk as if you're just a lost cause.
Why are you a jerk if you're bad to your parents?
You know, if they're good to you. We can
What
go
if
down
they
this
were
hole.
jerks?
We can go down this rabbit hole.
Until we reach the depths of hell, really. all right, back. What do you got, buddy?
Ow.
You got what the hell's happening?
I hurt myself
Okay.
trying to think.
Yeah. You got one?
I had one and I lost it. I will think of it again.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So
buddy?
my all-time favorite
All right.
is from the holiest of holy movies, Amadeus. Anyone that's seen it, I don't. What? No. So the scene when he's getting a new wig, the guy that's kind of testing out wigs with him and all that stuff, with Mozart,
Yes.
with Tom Hulse.
Yeah.
The guy, that has to be some of the most passion ever put into such a small role.
Very good.
Like, he was this character, this guy who hung out with people and
And gossiped
And gossiped
and took
and-
great joy in what he did.
exactly.
Yeah.
But just for me, he seemed like he was a cool dude. He wasn't like, I judge people or whatever. I don't like your shoe or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
He hung out with the apostolic,
Is that what it was? I didn't know.
or the aristocrats. You know what I mean? And he was so excited. And just he wants to get people to good. He was just a quintessential salesman. You know what I mean? Loved people, loved to get people the good product.
And what's-
This is a beautiful wig for you. It's so marvelous. I love it.
Right. Yeah. And he did. And he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
He loved what
He
he
wasn't
did.
lying. He loved all the wigs. Yeah. I loved it.
And
Yeah.
I think you will love it.
Yeah.
And like you
This is funny. And then when we're having a joke, we're having a time, we're having a moment.
yeah. And like you said, great salesman.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The very epitome of the customer's always right. That's a great one. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a great one. Here's an interesting one because the priest in that in Amadeus speaks so infrequently. He's not a side character though.
Right.
That's interesting.
So how do we? Wait, let's define our terms here, gentlemen.
Okay.
Is it amount of screen time or importance to the story?
But what we're already discussing, but some
Right.
of these side characters will be considered side characters. Without them, there is no story.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
from what I understand, he's just. I mean, you would say that in any film, but particularly the way the director. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name.
Milos Forman.
I did it just earlier too.
Yes, you did.
He set him up to be, of course, the link to the audience. We're the priest listening to Salieri.
Right.
So yeah, okay. So that's a good one. I got another one as far as acting. Not this guy has absolutely no effect on the story, but in The Rock,
Not Dwayne Johnson.
not
For the love of God.
no. I was actually talking. He's got a little man living inside. of him.
Does
Yeah,
he?
did you know
Oh,
that?
No, I didn't know that.
Works him like a machine.
Is it Kevin Hart? Because that seems to be the next choice. To
Yeah, that's
be
what we're
made.
gonna find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember. Oh, Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson in The Rock. He's
never seen
one.
it.
Oh yeah, dude. He's one of the. He's simply just one of the hostages.
Yeah.
So The Rock is about they take over Alcatraz. A bunch of military men led by Ed Harris take over Alcatraz during a tour. So they have all these hostages, right? And he's getting one of the hostages to speak so that they'll understand, that classic thing that there's a human element to this and these people are really in danger.
Right.
So he puts the mic up to Ed Harris puts the mic up to this guy, Mr. Henderson, and tells him to say his name and then knees him in the chest. It is unreal. This guy this is where you do take it all the way because the situation calls for it.
Yes.
The situation, if this guy acts this way at the dry cleaners, right? But the situation called for excellent acting because he was terrified for his life. Dude, you have to see it. I'm going to say go watch it even just for that scene.
Wow.
He's unbelievably, heartbreakingly scared in
He
this scene.
even does like a side lisp thing,
Oh,
and he's
man.
just saying his name. I'm Mr. Henderson. He's just gone.
Wow.
He's gone. Right. And I remember all of us when we first saw it, I was like, I love Mr. Henderson. I want that guy to make it. Like
That's one of the few cases where I wanted one of the side characters to become one of the main characters. So I wasn't overly happy with, I think Sean Connery and Cage, they weren't particularly impressive in that
Oh, I
movie.
love Connery.
Mr. Henderson with a gun running around.
I love
No,
Connery.
Sean Connery. Okay, I'm going to say, all right, if I have to pick one, it'd be Connery and Henderson. And,
Connery.
and I'm
Yeah,
a
that's
big
the movie.
fan of Cage, but
Yeah.
in that one, he was just kind of
I'm
like,
a huge fan of Cage, but I think Connery. Well, the both of them Cage and Connery could deliver horrible lines in a way that you
this is true.
believed.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where people wrote them just so they could do that. I think that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rock and the hard play, big hard case and trapped between a rock and a hard case, and he was just
Yeah.
full on, whatever he was doing there. I
just
know
said-
that sounded more like Jim Carrey, but
What is Jim Carrey but a young Sean Connery when you think about it?
look, this is.
Right.
I think you've struck on the truth. Okay, what else we
All
got?
right, I got a weird one, but
Okay.
I think it makes sense to what happened with the movie. That's the most general thing I could have said.
Yeah,
I have
it's
one
pretty
that makes sense for movies.
I have words. That's
I don't know if
out of brain.
I don't know if I have that's not where my words come from. I don't know if I have the right name of it, but I'm going to say Brontosaurus.
The Brontosaurus.
The Brontosaurus that you see in Jurassic Park.
The first one.
The first
the only
dinosaur.
one, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only Jurassic Park movie.
Right.
That first dinosaur that we get introduced to.
I think it's a Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus. Is that what it was? Because the ones hanging out.
I think they changed the name by that time. Remember, even later they say it's right. It's a Brachiosaurus.
Wasn't the Brachiosauruses the ones hanging out with them and sneezing on them?
No, I don't think there is a Brontosaurus.
Okay, so what is the other one then?
Brachiosaurus.
So they're both Brachiosauruses? Because they didn't look the same.
They didn't?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
So get it.
I could be wrong about that.
I'm sorry, Frank.
Frank, come on, man.
We'll get it together. But whatever it was, dinosaur
God damn it,
names.
his arm just fell off. I thought you sewed that back on.
Oh, God.
All right, I'll do it next
Now
time.
I'm what's turn this time.
I'm sorry. I can't.
But I really
I know it's
think.
pretty gross. Right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it. I think that, as a side, they only
It's
showed
still
it
alive.
once.
It's crawling away now.
Oh.
That's amazing, though. Oh God.
Oh, he's running after it?
Is his arm peeing? How does that work?
No, that's not.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I think that counts as a small character that really got you into the movie where it was supposed to be.
I don't remember what we're talking about.
Frankenstein just came in and ruined everyone's thought patterns. You're much more disgusting than usual. All right, clean slate here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Jurassic Park, the only one, the only good one.
yeah.
The Brachiosaurus.
Now, you're the one that threw it off this time.
That is not true. Not true.
You just did.
When?
I'm ready.
I
Go.
I already did go.
Okay, so the Brontosaurus / Brachiosaurus.
That's what I just said.
All right, go ahead.
All right, it was for me the side character that really pulled you into the movie. It was the first dinosaur, full-blown dinosaur you got to see, and from then on, you're like, "What am I in for with this movie?" So I think that side character they only showed it once, when I remember.
Is that? Are we going with that? That side character?
The Brontosaurus?
Yeah, are we going with that?
I would
I
say
think
so.
it's bold.
Okay. It's a bold. But do you actually feel that way?
I do.
Okay.
Every time when that part comes up, it's like, oh my god, the Brontosaurus is coming, or the whatever it is, the Brontosaurus. Now that's what it is.
Okay.
It's
The
being.
I think it's the Brontosaurus.
Is that what it was? I thought he was working with.
yeah.
I thought he was working with King James. You know the. You know.
Oh, really? I was thinking of Charles Bronson.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the name of the guy that played James Bond?
Sean Connery.
No, I know.
We talked about this already.
No. The most I can't.
Roger
Daniel
Moore.
Craig?
No, from you said everyone but the one I'm looking for. That's amazing. Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Thank you.
Oh,
God.
okay. You didn't think Timothy Dalton, the greatest James Bond of
I
all
hear,
time?
You know what? I hear he was the most accurate James Bond.
This is what I'm hearing too. Yes.
Yeah,
Really?
that he was closest to the book.
That was a book?
Yeah,
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming's James Bond. Didn't the name James Bond come from a man he knew in Philly?
Oh, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure.
God.
All right, back to side characters.
All right, so
But that's interesting.
the dinosaur was a wash. I'm gonna wipe.
No,
that
no,
from-
I find that interesting.
No. It's just fine. It's fine.
On
It's just fine.
on that note,
That would be just fine.
what is that from?
Okay,
Golden beans.
Golden Beans. It's from Golden Beans.
Is it
Yeah, it was the weirdest porno you've ever seen. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
kind of like Tainted Eggs?
We're not going down this road. Not now. That's for our podcast that we specific on. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
On that note, a lot of people online have said the most important character in Avengers Endgame is the mouse that released Ant-Man.
That's a very good one.
Holy shit.
That's a very good
Yeah.
one. He affects the story. There is no story.
No,
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
yeah. So he's pivotal to the story, but he didn't offer a performance.
No, he
Little
didn't.
bastard.
Okay, then we also have to talk about one of the greatest films ever, The
Mhm.
Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Bonacere, The Undertaker.
Yes.
He's only in 2 scenes, but he opens the movie. He's the first person you see, and he has an extended dialogue without a cut, just watching him talk.
Yes.
That guy was amazing because if he doesn't work, the movie doesn't work,
That's
Right.
a great one.
right? Now, again, like you were saying, we're talking about movie versus story, right?
Right.
Storytelling versus story, right? The movie goes on without him. The story in the movie goes on without him. But if, as a work of art, it doesn't work without that guy working. So he must have. I don't know do you know the process over how he found that guy or
No, I don't.
okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, but we had several in The Godfather, several smaller side characters that held the movie up. And without them, again, you have some of the greatest performances of all time by the main characters. But even people that were like Carlo wasn't in it a lot, but that guy was tremendous.
He was absolutely
brought
terrifying.
A kind of intensity, an unhinged intensity, but also a cowardly intensity.
Yes.
He was such a coward. What's the story with that guy? That actor?
He became a businessman.
Is that right?
He didn't act anymore. Yeah, I remember when he, I forget what anniversary it was, but it had a gala and a whole thing going on, and all the stars came out. He came out and said, "Yeah, I didn't really stay in movies. I just, I became a businessman. I do what I do, but I'm part of this. Came to see it out. It's so crazy." And he had his tiniest little part in the second one, and one of the greatest scenes in movie history.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't really pursue acting. I don't know if he did anything like that was his only film, but he did not become an actor and have like decades of work or anything. He was, of course, the scene where he's gets into that violent altercation with his wife Connie. He's horrific in that scene.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, the realism on top. He was realistically scary. It wasn't like, oh, this is out of James Bond. Like we were just. He's not a villain. He's just a horrible man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a horrible, cowardly human being
Yes.
that would never stand up to someone that could beat him up, but would whip his pregnant wife with a belt.
Yeah.
So, and note, like, how are you, Francis Ford Coppola, watching your young sister, get beat with a belt? That's commitment right there.
Yeah, and it's even funnier because when he was rehearsing the scene,
Yeah.
he didn't have Carlo, the actor, to be there, so he was doing it with his sister and his nephew.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're running around doing this crazy scene because he was in threat of being fired. Everyone knows this. He was in threat of being fired every day. And then they were talking about bringing in a violence coordinator, and he's like, I can direct it myself. So he wanted to make that scene especially good, so they would stop bothering him. Yeah. So it was a family affair. Everybody come over and we'll be violent to each other. Yeah, there we go.
I have another one who was just a great performance. He was probably in the film maybe 3 times. Jet Li's Fearless.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
A entertaining film. You know, I
Yeah,
want to see it
intense.
again. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember really liking it. And Jet Li, you know, he's just always great. You know.
Talk about energy that is off the charts.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Feral animal.
Mm-hmm. So, what? No.
I don't believe it. Okay. No, I like it.
So Jet Li plays Hua Yung Ja, who's I think a real man.
Okay.
But anyway, there was a homeless man that thought
I'm really
he was,
sorry.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about 2 completely different movies.
How about that?
Yeah.
What were you
I was talking about Unleashed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're talking about.
So
I didn't see either
Fearless.
of these movies.
Yeah.
All right, go.
Yeah. Make sure to just correct me and smack me next time.
That's
Sorry.
all right.
We'll talk about that some other time.
There was a homeless man that thought Jet Li's character was amazing, and he was this great fighter and stuff like that. He didn't have much dialogue. He just said, you're great and all this stuff, but he was so into the role. As a homeless man, didn't have all his marbles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed up again in the film when Jet Li's character was like at his lowest point, and he just added like, oh, he's here and he's talking to me. You know what I mean? The guy was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Having grown up around a lot of drunk and mentally ill people who
Yeah.
have nothing
Yeah.
else to do but to laugh or talk at you, he was dead on accurate.
Yeah.
Around them. We're some of them, buddy. That's going to be the story of our nieces and nephews in a few years.
And I was gonna, they're sitting talking in the microphones, acting when they have golden beans and whatnot.
Yeah. And then somehow that made it onto the internet.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's define our terms here, gentlemen. Are we talking about redistricting, or are we talking about no? So, how about a famous actor that had a very bit part?
Oh.
What is some of the best that's ever happened?
Yeah. Does that qualify under this?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right, would you count Marlon Brando in Superman as that? Or was he in it too much for that to be the
He
case?
counts on all levels because without him also deciding to launch Kal-El into space, there is no movie. There's no story. There's no Kal-El. There is no Superman.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
And I've heard some shade on his performance in that.
What are you talking? He
Well,
was
Christopher
amazing
Reeve
in it.
himself gave an interview where he said that he did not like meeting him because he seemed like he was just tired and didn't care anymore. And he thought that with all the talent and greatness he had, he could still be a voice,
He was-
a coach to young actors. But he seemed to suggest when he was talking, it was a David Letterman interview.
Hey,
Look it up.
don't tell Marlon Brando what he needs to do with his own life. Just because you can't be as great as actors.
Oh yeah, and it didn't. It didn't.
Hey.
No, it's
No, hey.
For
What is that? Hey.
no, hey, and Joe Rogan. This isn't the Joe Rogan.
No,
podcast.
it's a song. Let's
don't
do a
care
song.
for you.
All right. I don't remember that song.
I don't think it came off as bitter. He seemed disappointed and sad that he didn't. And again, that's Marlon Brando's life. It's his own life that he
it's
didn't
his own
meet.
damn life.
Yes.
That's what he need to say. Yo, motherfucker, this is my own damn life. You get your own, white boy.
But if it seemed like he may have suggested that he, because they're talking about all the things Brando had, like notes all around the set. They said he'd been doing that for years because you couldn't remember his lines.
Right.
He still put in a great performance as Jarrell.
I
was
thought
wonderful.
so.
Absolutely, captivating with all the dignity and sadness and honor, and it was a brilliant performance. As you said, there would be no Superman without him, and Brando was barely in it. And Brando is probably the most famous, biggest actor who ever lived.
Well, to us, he is to the common public. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly who I'm doing there. But.
Okay. What about Mickey Rourke in The Pledge?
I never saw it. You guys have told me he's staggering in it.
Unbelievable. He plays a father whose daughter's been missing for like 3 years.
And he pretends or he's gone to a place in his mind, if I remember correctly, she doesn't exist anymore. Is this right?
Sort of. Yeah, it's very nuanced.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because in the scene where it starts, and everyone needs to just look up his scene if you don't want to watch the whole movie. Because I thought the movie was actually disappointing, but really, all right, just watch it. Great concept.
Get off my back about it.
Yeah, just,
already.
just calm down, everybody. When he first comes in, he's afraid that he's going to get bad news. So when he says, "I hear you talk about your daughter," and he says, "What daughter? Don't you have a daughter that went missing?" And then he went right into, "Well, you come here to tell me something happened to her? You find her dead or something?" It was.
Yeah.
He couldn't accept that he might be hearing after all these years that she's actually dead.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I was shocked because when he said, "What daughter?" I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was disappointed because he had such a great, intensity in his face. And when he said, "What daughter?" I'm like, okay, this is going to be a short scene. He's just going to say, "What daughter?" And the detective's going to leave. I'm like, I didn't expect it to go this way, but I was wrong. It went to a whole emotional fuck face.
Is that right?
Oh God.
Wow.
The emotion, and then for him, he did this breath at the end of his dialogue, heartbreaking dialogue, that seemed to be a reset. And now I have to reset, and I'm going to go through all of this again in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that Mickey Rourke was the talk of Tinseltown when he came up in the 80s because he fell
we're
off.
talking about Brando. I think he was the successor to Brando.
I don't see why that wouldn't be true.
yeah.
God bless him.
Okay, so I'd like to talk about what I think might be, from every possible level down to extras and just the way they look, the greatest cast in history,
Okay.
Falling Down. And what I mean by that is there are so many people he encountered. The way the movie's structured is he has to encounter a lot of people who are only on screen for a few minutes, but they need to play a very important part. Right? It's not like, of course, any movie is going to have people that are on screen for a few minutes, but each one of these people he encounters must nail their part,
And
because each scene is so crucial to his falling down. Right?
yeah.
And they did not miss a fucking beat. Every single character, every actor they hired. I don't know who the casting agent for that was. I don't know if Joel Schumacher, rest in peace, the great Joel Schumacher. Yes, the great Joel Schumacher.
Here.
That's right.
I don't know if he was directly involved in who was cast in those parts, but it might be perfect in that. Yeah.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
that. Name a character, right?
Oh, the two guys that came up to rob him when he was sitting on the
Yes.
stoop.
Absolutely.
That one guy with the ponytail. What
Intense.
an extra little stint to it all.
Yeah, that guy is in the streets, on the streets, of the streets, with the streets. Which, if you make him a buffoon, the intensity of what happens at that scene, that he turns it around on them,
Yeah.
doesn't work as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, like you said, he was hardcore.
Yes.
He was the real deal.
Absolutely. He had been that. He didn't know another person than that person. There was no child in that man.
Yeah.
But you could do that with everyone. You could do that. That's the point. That's the fucking point. You could do that with every person he encounters. They played their role to the hilt, but not overplayed it because they had to play real people he's encountering.
Right.
But they put everything they had into the homeless man. The homeless man he encountered.
Oh my God, yeah.
You've never been more annoyed with a person.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what you've been through, but why the hell do you think it's my problem and the world owes me a living? He was like Goofy.
And that's
you know,
exactly. He
the Disney
played
character.
it that he wasn't a sympathetic character.
Yes.
He wasn't, I'm really hungry. You could tell this guy didn't give a shit about other people.
Yes.
You could tell this guy probably had a job, right?
Yeah, and he's sitting there eating his large sandwich while he's walking around. talking to them.
Right. He was, he was a classic panhandling con man, right?
Yes.
That kind of person,
Right.
right? So yeah, there was a.
And you really could go on and on.
That's exactly.
Yes.
Yes, you could.
Yes. And the woman, one of the girlfriends of the men that tried to rob him in the beginning that we were talking about, I've talked about this with Dr. Crisis and Malmut, how I think she delivered the line that summed up a lot of the movie. was when they tried to do a drive-by on Michael Douglas, the main character, Defense, as a lot of people called him.
Bill.
Can never remember his name.
Okay,
the
that's
character's
all right.
name.
Yeah.
But they called him
Because
Defense.
we all call him Defense.
We all,
that's why.
yeah, exactly.
We all.
Yeah.
That's how we refer to him. But, Defense.
Defense.
Imagine him at a football game.
Yeah. He's the type too.
People having signs of Michael Douglas's character from falling down. The glasses looking all
The
angry.
two of them.
Yeah. And
Pendergrass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's why they tried to do a drive-by on him and crashed and, missed him. And then he came up and shot one of them in the leg and then took their bag of guns that they had in the car.
I know. Yeah, I love this.
And then the woman was in the police station later because they were trying to track him down. And the female cop, his Prendergast's partner, Robert Duvall, comes up to her and says, "How many guns were in the bag?" Because they want to know how dangerous is he now. And she said, "I don't know all the guns in the world." It just made so much sense to the violence. If you have one gun, look at the havoc you're going to cause.
Yeah.
And it's like you took this gun from these people that have been using them their whole lives, and now he's carrying around an arsenal. What does it matter how many? It's all the guns in the world. It's all the violence. It's all the intent. It's all the means to achieve these horrible things. I thought it was brilliant, and she performed it brilliantly.
Right.
Yeah.
It might as well be, is what you say.
Yes.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
is to me in my world. There's no difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That movie is again. I can't recommend that movie enough. It's an expertly made film.
100%.
Okay. Do we have anybody else? Do we have anything else?
Poop.
I don't think that's an answer.
And it's definitely not a character. Not in the movies I watch.
Seems like right now we've run the table on this one.
The one thing the last thing I thought of was the kid in Die Hard with a Vengeance on the bike. I just thought he was perfect. Like,
Oh, that's pretty good.
yeah, I thought he was really good. You can steal City Hall. Where's my dog? Yeah.
I don't believe that was a line. Remember,
No, it wasn't.
That was a sequel. That was the spin-off movie just with him. It was
Yeah,
called
so
"Where's My
yeah,
Dog." It was his adventures
yeah.
through the
I love it.
streets.
We should do
Yeah.
it.
We need to get it done.
And
yeah.
what doesn't John McClane make a small appearance in it?
Yeah, just very small. He runs
I
over
raised
him,
this
like,
kid.
Yeah.
This kid's my hero.
Right.
I don't know why that's Bruce Willis. But
Yeah, there goes trials and tribulations and raising dogs.
yeah, but the only thing is that anybody
No, it was
in
actually
the
called The Dog Raiser, right?
it was called the Dog Raiser. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an odd mix of that and Hellraiser. It was the strangest.
It's a strange idea.
I don't know if it goes into.
And he was really good with fighting with razors, so it was like a back alley, fighting thing. The dog, so that
Yeah.
was really weird. So Dog Razor was his like street punk name. It was weird. Oh
Dog-
no!
he
it's-
also
it's
carried.
Zorg,
he also,
but everyone
he also
always,
carried a dog razor.
yes, he
yeah.
did. He shaved
but-
constantly. The only part of his face that wasn't, had hair on it was the beard part.
And he would cut a bitch.
Oh,
that's why
he
it's
will
a dog.
slice a
that's
bitch.
a dog razor. You see.
yeah, and he carried around the Lament configuration as a chew toy. So friggin' Pinhead's coming in and out, and he's like, "Just stop," And
Yeah, he was.
He's like,
he was terrified. Hellraiser was actually. What was his name? Pinhead.
Yeah.
He was terrified by what this kid was doing. Like,
No.
But anytime anyone in the movie says dog, it's exactly the same. Even Pinhead. What are you doing with this dog? It would be. Yeah. It just couldn't be helped.
so we done? I mean, do we got it?
I think we got some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many more.
Yeah.
If you
There's
have
so
any
many.
out there, your favorites or ones you think we missed or ones you think are great, comment, subscribe, love us, invite us to Thanksgiving, whatever needs to happen. Just get it done.
You do not want that. All right, so this is the portion of our therapy where we talk about our feelings. No,
I thought there was a whole goddamn part.
where we recast the movie. What do you got? Come on, let's recast the movie.
Okay, do you want to recast any movies we were talking about or just random?
You can't. That's the weird part because this is about great casting.
Yes.
It would be weird. How
We
do
can only cast side characters. We can only cast side characters.
How
here.
about we uncast a movie? What is that? I don't.
You're all fired.
Okay, what would
I'm
what do you got?
sorry. I think we should cast Dog Racer. That's what I think we should
Okay,
do.
okay.
Alright.
So that kid's playing dog, but we already have everybody.
Now Bruce Willis and them, but who's playing Dog Razor? Who's playing Pinhead in this?
I
We
thought the
can't-
kid was playing dog razor.
I thought the dog was Dog Razor. Have we been confused here?
I was just going with it.
The dog's the one. He's trying to track down his dog, and he's fighting in alleyways with a razor and all that. So I thought that's what was happening.
All right.
All right, we gotta make 2 separate movies on this one.
Yeah, like an
I wanted
Evil
to go-
Dead sequel, prequel.
Yeah, whatever it's
remake.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm with you.
All right. If you were to make Falling Down in the 1940s, who would play the main character?
Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
Oh my god.
I never have any problem with Gregory Peck
I was gonna say the same thing.
because I
Gregory
want to
Peck,
see him play
yeah.
that kind of stress, but he would of course be more low key. I want a burger.
It wouldn't be a burger at that time, though.
No, it
right?
wouldn't be.
Or
I guess it would be. I want,
a steak with
or
mushrooms.
I want the blue plate special. You know.
He wants shit on a shingle.
Okay, who would play the cop? Who would play Pendergrass?
Okay, back in the 1940s, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what do you got?
Is that Spencer Tracy?
That
I don't
is
think that's bad at all,
fantastic.
dude. Good
That is
word.
Fantastic.
Spencer and him together.
That is
Ooh.
fantastic. Okay, now we
Okay.
gotta. That was backwards, now forwards.
Yeah.
Backwards, now forwards. Not forwards or leftwards. Man, I'm sorry. I'm still the crossroads does some things
You
to
know,
you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Who are you? Oh, it's me. How you doing?
Some of that was radiating off too, man. I felt way too hyped in this whole show.
It's okay, buddy. That's the radiation.
Exactly. Yeah, we need to put you in
Now
quarantine.
we must go forwards. Today, who could you cast as defense?
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana, really?
It's a gamble because Bana I love Bana, but I don't think he has natural charm, and I think he needs to be in the thick of some stank. You know, he needs to be playing strange, interesting things. If he could put his own spin on this, the tired, the angry, I would like to give him the chance.
I would think my choice would be Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, you're pushing the Cranston recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because usually I'm not on board. 'Cause there's something wrong where I can't see Cranston doing things. Although I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah. Okay. Pendergrass.
Pendergrass today.
Yeah, today.
You can join in on this, Malmwood, or you
I'm
don't?
thinking.
Do you think
okay.
Bana's a little too old?
He is. Do you want someone
Then
who
we need-
has to be younger?
No,
Okay. All right, so you do want me to go with somebody else?
No, Pendergrass. What you got
Pendergrass today.
today? Who you got as the cop chasing him?
Okay. Can we do mustache? Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart's a good
I
one.
like that.
I just
I
like him for
really
roles
like
like
that.
this. He has this
Yeah.
demeanor, this
I
presence.
really like that.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Bana
I think
and
he's
Eckhart.
underrated, man.
Bana Eckhart taking
Yeah.
on the world.
Yeah, man. Hey, Eckhart. Think about the future.
All right. Well, I think I smell the spanakopita is done, so
Mm.
I'm gonna go taste me some of that.
We're gonna put it all in a cornucopia.
That'll be messy and awful.
We'll save it
That's-
for the
that's-
Thanksgiving
no,
we're coming
that's
to.
Why, yes, that's what we're going to bring to
Yes.
our. Thanks for inviting us, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. Come again and join us by the movie light.
So, Prendergast. How did him and his wife meet?
Oh, that's a good
Was it
one.
in the 70s? During disco times?
That's-